Alexa, this girl says that I am ugly, that I dress funny, that my forehead is huge, it is, and that she doesn't like me. How can I help her? Hey everybody, I'm Nina and this is The Girl Book. Welcome back. Before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody that liked my video, that commented, that shared it on Facebook, that DM'd me. Thank you so much for all the support and the encouragement. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'm not going to charge a card at the end of the month, so let's get into it. Unfortunately, bullying is a topic that I have a lot of experience with. I was bullied all throughout middle school and half of high school. I was very shy. I was socially awkward. I did dress weird. Like the first day of 6th grade, I wore some grandma sandals and my hair was extra crunchy and my edges wouldn't lay down, and they used to sing "Just for me." And that used to get on my nerves, but I never said anything because, hey, I was too timid to say something, to speak up and really defend myself. They talked about my forehead, they called me waterhead because, I mean, yes, my head is huge. I thought it was weird when people didn't have foreheads because everybody's head is big in my family. But anyway, when I got to high school, I ended up with my own personal dedicated bully. I am going to call her Kelly. That is not her real name. I'm not putting anybody on blast here. I'm just telling my story. So Kelly was a senior and I was a freshman, and she was extremely mean to me, and I never understood why. I didn't know her. I never did anything to her. I never said anything to her, but Kelly didn't like me. One thing I remember is I wore these stretchy boots, these tall stretchy boots, and this was like before people were actually wearing tall boots in my school because I always just was very experimental. So I wore some stretchy boots and they kept sliding down my legs, and she said, like, just with the meanest, nastiest look, like, that's why you shouldn't have worn boots like that anyway. And I was just like, I was stunned because I'm like, dude, I'm wearing these boots. Is it that doggone serious? Like, what do you have against me? Eventually she did graduate, and so fortunately I only had to deal with her for that one school year. There were some people, like some cronies of hers, that tried to keep things going, but for the most part that level of bullying ended with her, thank goodness. So yeah, it was rough. So as I got older, I started to process those experiences with bullies. You know, I just wondered, like, what makes people do that? Like, I was a non-confrontational person. I was just very in my own world. Like, I have my set of friends, so I never really understood why people targeted me. Like, yeah, you know, my clothes and all that, but still, you know, some people get a rush from just making people feel bad, and that has never been me. I'm just not gonna say anything if I don't like it. Like, I don't need to go out of my way to say, well, I don't like that, you're ugly, you're this, you're that. Now, I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I was always innocent, because after that whole bullying period, there was a time when I started feeling myself because I was mad. You know, I wanted revenge on certain people, so I started to act a certain way, and that is another story for another video. I will get into that, but for now we're gonna talk about this. So one thing I learned in my years on this planet is that truly happy, truly well-adjusted, like self-satisfied, content people aren't buttholes. Like, I feel like those are mutually exclusive things. Like, you can't be happy with yourself and also be an asshole. If you are, then that's the definition of a psychopath. Just in my opinion, and based on, you know, my experience of being a butthole at one point, the story I'll tell you later, I feel like bullying does come from a place of hurt. It comes from a place of lack. I just wonder, what is it in your life that you're missing that you need to pinpoint me, that you need to make me your punching bag, you need to make me your target? Who hurt you? Like, who's bullying you? I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't sit here and make a diagnosis about anybody. And I'll also say that just because somebody has a dominant personality, it doesn't mean that that is always a bad thing. But unfortunately, when it comes to bullying, people that do have softer personalities are the target. of people that are bold and brash and really people that want power. A few quick ways that I feel like you could deal with bullies. You could ignore it if it's not that bad. Like if it doesn't bother you, like if it's just little and irksome things that people say, sometimes you can just leave it alone. Other times I feel like you possibly could talk to somebody, but you have to be very cautious if you're dealing with somebody that has real anger issues, somebody that has substance abuse issues, somebody that, you know, is just not a reasonable person. It might not be smart to talk to them. They can end up gaslighting you, which is when you go to somebody with a problem and they try to downplay your problem or act like they don't know what you're talking about. Like with Kelly, for example, if I would have gone to her and said, hey, you know, I sense that there's some tension between us and I wanted to know if you felt the same way, and if so, did you want to talk about it? I could see somebody like her saying, girl, I didn't think about you, what are you talking about? That's not really a healthy or productive way to have conversations with people and to make breakthroughs. So just know who you're dealing with. If your safety is going to be jeopardized, then definitely you don't need to talk to somebody. You can go to the next step, which would be, you know, getting help, getting support. Build your posse. Build your people that are gonna have your back. They're gonna ride for you. They're gonna make sure that you don't get hurt. This could be friends, it could be family members, it could be a counselor, it could be anybody that just knows you, they care about you, you know, they want to see you thrive and be happy, and they don't want you to be mistreated. Get people like that on your side. One thing to remember about bullies is that they do not go away, unfortunately. Mean girls that do not get help and continue along their path turn into mean women. And they show up in school, they show up at work, they show up at the gym, they show up at church, they show up in the parking lot at the mall. They're everywhere. They show up and they show out. Like, they're gonna let you know they're here. Whoever you are, whatever your personality is, whatever your race, whatever your gender, you know, or lack thereof, your job is to know who you are. The analogy that I like to use that I really just pulled out of my butt one day, imagine there's a neighborhood and there's all these homes. Some have more flowers, some have this color siding, that color brick, but they're all worth the same amount of money, no matter how they look. And you have your plot of land over here and you own the deed to that land. Nobody can buy you out of it. Like, they can't say, I'm gonna build a hot tub over there. No, that's your land, which is you, which is everything about you. All of you. They cannot buy you out of it. The only way you can get out of it is if you sell out and you decide that you're not going to be who you are and you're going to let people step all over you. Don't do that. I feel like that's how you have to look at yourself when you're being bullied. When you see people that feel bigger than you are, they feel more powerful than you are. You have to know that your worth as a human being is in line with the worth of others. You're on equal footing. If you have that much of a problem with me being here and existing in my skin, you know, with my style, with my hair, with my complexion, my ethnicity, my gender, my sexuality, all that, you might want to talk to my parents and ask them why they laid up and made me, because I can't help you. Sorry, not sorry. So another quick story. Last summer, I was at a show of a band that I like, and I saw a girl move out of the way. I don't know where she went, but she left, and so I tried to move up. And this girl puts her arm out, and she's like, where are you going? And I looked her dead in the face, and I said, you need to back up off of me. So I had this stare down with the girl, and it got really intense. I will admit, like, my face was hot and my heart was beating and I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't feel like anything actually was gonna pop off because there were a lot of people there was security, like people would have seen what was going on. I felt like I had to, in that moment, just say, Nina, you know what? You have dealt with this. There's no way that I'm backing down. And she eventually turned her head and her friend was like, girl, just come on, just come on. And you know, I was proud of that one little victory. Be discerning about who you step up to, because there are some people that will actually hit you. And I would say most of the time with strangers, like, you could just walk on. You can go on. I'll admit, like, I was being a little gangster with this girl, but you know, I'm not fooling with it. Like, no, I've dealt with girls like that my entire life and I'm done. Please understand, I'm not advocating for aggression. I'm not advocating that you fight anybody, because I definitely am a non-violent person. However, you will know and you will understand that you will not talk to me any kind of way. You will not touch me. If you have a problem with me, you need to talk to me about it or you need to look the other way. It's not about being ego defensive and feeling like you gotta buck up at everybody that says something to you, but just know how to stand up for yourself. It's really important to remember that a lot of bullies do end up becoming successful. Look at who's in the White House. They end up pushing their way up to the top and they make people afraid of them. We like to think that, you know, people who mistreat others get their due, and honestly, I don't believe that's always the case. But I will say we don't always see what goes on behind the scenes, so don't feel discouraged if you see somebody rising and, you know, they're a butt wipe and you feel like they're not getting their just due, because you honestly never know. But really, it's not something that you should spend your time thinking about. You move on, you know, you grow, you get stronger in yourself, you defend your plot of land, and you just, you know, go on and live an amazing life. Be your crazy, loud, weird, kooky, quiet, nerdy, dorky, big-headed self, and just learn to love it just because it is yours. So let me know in the comments if you've had any experiences with bullies, you know, if you feel comfortable sharing. Don't name any names, like we're not putting people on blast here, but it's just talking about your overall experience. Like, how have you dealt with it? You know, what have you told yourself? What would you tell somebody else? And, you know, just let me know what you think. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And until next time, thank you for watching.